Hello students, how are you all? Hope all of you are well. Actually, today we are going to discuss class 7 science chapter number 4 heat and its effect, right? Yesterday I had given you some questions, or in the previous video I had given you some questions related what are the uses or expansion in solid in our daily life, how you can understand that solid expands and we are using these things in our life. Related that I had given you some questions, some homework also. So the same solution of that questions, and we will study in this video about the expansion in solid, expansion in liquid, and expansion in gas. How do solid expands after heat, how do liquid expands after heat, and how do gas expands after heat. All these related things today we are going to discuss. So let's start with expansion in solid in our daily life. The first point of this topic is railway tracks are constructed within the gaps in the rails to allow the metal rails to expand due to the heat of the summer and the heat generated by the friction. How many of you have ever visited a railway station? I hope all of you have visited. Yeah, now you can't because right now it's a lockdown. In the lockdown we should not go also. But in this whole life, whatever the age right now you are having, in this life you may have visited to any railway station all over the India or globe, anywhere if you are living. You might have seen the railway station, and near the railway station you may have seen the tracks where the railway or the train moves. So the tracks, near the tracks you will see the lines are in parallel. If the lines are in parallel, so have you ever thought, do these line contracts or expands? Why the line is very parallel, the railway is so much big but the lines are very short. So how does the wheels are always moving? You can see from north to south, east to west, all over India or any other country you will see these railway lines are very long. They are moving from one state to another state, one country to another country. But one country to another country we can't say, but especially about any one country, if we talk from one state to another state, one city to another city, they are moving. So here it is written, railway tracks are constructed with gaps in the rails. You will see they are having a fixed gap, means that parallel lines, to allow the metal rail to expand due to heat of the summer. As the summer or heat comes to that, so they can expand. They are getting very less gap, but due to that they can expand till 0 to 5 centimeter. They can expand till 0 to 5 centimeter. As they expand due to the heat of the summer and heat generated by the friction, as the railway wheels or on the tracks that train wheels start moving, so they get a friction. Because of that friction, as the heat is generated by that friction, or especially in the summer season, right now you can see from the month of March to the month of June or July, this summer season, the temperature rises till 40 to 45 degrees Celsius in India, right? And sometimes more than 45 also. So because of this heat or the friction, the heat generated by the friction from the tracks, rail wheels, okay, the train wheels. So what will happen? These tracks will expand as the heat is generated by the friction or due to the summer season. So these, as they expand, they get a fixed place, and from that place the train wheels can move it very smoothly. So this was our first use of expansion in solid in our daily life. Now let's come to the second use. In the steel bridge, spaces are given between the sections to allow them to expand. How many of you have ever visited any steel bridge? The world longest bridge. In our India, if we talk, in the Bihar, there is one Gandhi Setu bridge. It is 5 kilometers long. Okay, and in the Paris, if you may have ever visited in Paris, so you can see that Paris bridge also. So what do you see, or Howrah bridge in Calcutta, right? So what do you see in this bridge? You will see that the steel bridge spaces are given between the section. One section to another section, the spaces are given. Means, as just suppose this is a bridge, everywhere the sections are not, they are having a space that from one pillar is here, so another pillar will be after some distance. again after some distance. So this question is in the steel bridge. The spaces are given between the section to allow them to expand. The spaces are given especially allow them to expand. Let it expand. Actually, if the lot of friction also comes, because sometimes what happens in this bridge, lot of vehicles run, thousands of trucks, or the population, people also start moving from here and there. So what happens? The steel, these gaps, whatever the gaps are given in the steel bridge, the spaces are given. So these sections allow them to expand as they expand, especially due to the frictions of the vehicles. Third point is telephone and electric overhead lines are strung between their poles in a specific way to allow contraction in winter and expansion in summer. How many of you have seen or noticed that electric wires having a fixed distance between them? You will see that two electric wires are there in the electric poles or telephone wires. They do not sag. Can you tell me why? The telephone and electric wires overhead lines are strung between their poles in a specific way to allow the contraction in winter, expansion in summer. Means as the summer season comes, it expands, and as the winter season comes, it contracts. Expands, contracts. Expand and contract means, expands means increasing their size, and contracts means decreasing their size. So as they expand in the summer season, as they contract into the winter season, so that's why they give the specific allow their poles in a specific way to allow the contraction in winter and expansion in summer. Telephone and electric wires or electric overhead lines are strung between their poles. Means you will see there is a fixed gap between these two poles because they expand in summer and they contract in winter. Okay. The last point of the expansion in solid in our daily life. The wheels of the bullock carts have metal rims that are slightly smaller than the wooden wheel. A metal rim is heated so that it expands and can be fitted over the wooden wheel. When the metal rim cools, it contracts and grips the wheel. You will see in the olden days the people were using bullock carts. Have you ever seen bullock cart? In the movies you might have seen, but I'm talking about the real. We have seen. In my generation, I have seen bullock cart. I have seen in my village whenever, especially I used to go to village. That time my grandfather he's a landlord, so that time to just transport one material from one part to another part, he was using bullock cart. So sometimes we also get opportunity to sit on the bullock cart. So I have seen in that bullock cart the wheel was of wooden, but inside that there was a rim. Means the rim was of the metal like iron or any other metal. Rim was fit inside it. So what happens in that wooden wheel? The rim are specially designed a little bit shortly than the wooden wheel. Why? Because this metal rim, as it expands on heating, as the metal rim is heated, so it expands, and after cooling it contracts. So as it contracts, so now the metal rim is fixed into that wooden wheel very firmly. So that is only written, the wheels of the bullock cart have metal rims that are slightly smaller than the wooden wheel. A metal rim is heated so that it expands and can be fitted over the wooden wheel. It expands and can be fitted over the wooden wheel. When the metal rim cools, it contracts and grips the wheel firmly. As I have said to you, that as it contracts, so that time the wooden wheel will be grips and it will be firmly fitted in that wooden wheel. That rims will be specially as it cools, so now it will be fitted in the wooden wheel. So you have seen this. This was our topic, solid expands on heating. Now expansion in liquid. Have you ever seen that liquid also expand? Expansion in liquids you might have seen also, but you don't know about that, right? So this was our answer. I hope if you want to take a screenshot, then you have taken. If you don't want to take a screenshot, don't want to write, so whatever I had explained, just listen the video twice or thrice. You will get all the answers of your questions. Okay? So now actually I want to say you expansion in liquid in our daily life. How many of you ever seen that your mama is preparing tea for your dad or for any guest? Have you ever seen? Liquids. Okay, expansion in liquid centrifugal. See, first of all, see, just suppose this is your gas stove. See, my drawing is very weak, but then also I'm trying my level best to draw. This is our gas stove, okay? As the heat comes, this is the switch, as we have done on to the switch, okay? So this heat started, and this is your utensil, okay? In this utensil, suspend, suspend. This is your suspend. This is having a back and right handle. So now you will see till here your mother had filled water and milk, okay? And then she put inside it. This was water, milk, tea leaf, and sugar. She had given. Okay, now she want to prepare a tea. So you will see the water level was till here, right? This was the level of water and all other things which are specially used to prepare a tea. As you can see here, as we have started heating, means as we start giving heat to this liquid, so after some time it boils and it increases its level till here. Have you ever seen? If you have ever prepared a tea for anyone, then you might be knowing. So you will see this liquids also expands on heating. Liquids also expands on heating. So these are, I have shown you an activity also. I will just show you as the activity written in our textbook. According to that activity will move. So this was that how liquid expands on heating. As with the solids, the rate of expansion is different for the liquids, but liquid expands more than solid for the same rise in temperature. Thermometer use the fact liquids expand due to the heat. If we compare solid and liquid, okay, just suppose solid is there and liquid is there. If we give 100 degrees Celsius to the solid and 100 degrees Celsius to the liquid, okay, so which one will rise more and which one will rise more faster? If you give 100 degrees Celsius to the solid, it will rise till here, but if you give 100 degrees Celsius to the liquid, it will rise till here. Got it? If we compare both solid and liquid, then liquid expands more than solid as we give heat or degree temperature. You can check these things with the temperature scales like thermometer is there. With the help of that scale, you can check that which one expands more. So let's do one activity related to this. And in this both the activity, I will show you that how they both expands on heating. You just have to look, or you can take a screenshot that how this liquid expands on heat. You can see here, to observe the expansion of water due to the heat, they have taken the test tube or round bottom flask, narrow glass tube, one holded rubber stopper, Bunsen burner, food coloring water and stand. See, by this way they have arranged. This is, you can see it is a colored water, and we have to check. Now, what are the material methods are there? Fill a round bottom flask with colored water. On colored water, just we take colored water in the holy. You have to fix this and pass a narrow glass through a one holded rubber stopper. Fix the stopper tightly into the mouth of the flask so that the colored water rises by 1 centimeter in the glass tube. Mark the level of the water in the glass tube. Heat the flask for 2 minutes and note the water level. Heat the flask for 2 minutes and note the water level in the glass tube. Has it changed? Now cool the flask to room temperature. Does the liquid level come back to the marked level? Again, observation and conclusion. You will notice that on heating the water level rises above the mark, showing that the water has expanded. On cooling and the water returns its previous level. This shows the liquid expands when the heated and contracts when cooled. As already I have said you that how we understand that the liquid expands on heating just by marking it, as I have shown you in this activity also. So you can see here and you can write this activity in your notebook. That's all for today. Today we have learned expansion in solid in our daily life and expansion in liquids in our daily life. I hope all of you have understand. If you are having any doubt related this both expansion, then you can drop your doubt into the comment box section. You can like this video, you can subscribe this channel, you can press the bell icon for the latest notification. That's all for today. Thank you very much.